Hello again, everyone. Another message off of Facebook. This one's a little older. Hi, Ollie. How are you? I came across your YouTube videos, so I know how you feel and what you're going through having a narcissistic father and quite a few relationships with sociopaths. I have a concern across some good. I've come across some good websites as well. Feel free to confirm me as a friend. So I have so many stories to tell you. My mom passed away last week, and my narcissistic sister has got my narcissistic dad back in the cult of Jehovah's Witness. Don't mean to laugh, but those people are nuts. They are both being very unthoughtful in trying to preach their nonsense down my throat. Of course they are. I know this is going to be very awkward as it's quite a shock. My mom just died and there's a funeral to attend. I know they will ruin it for me. My sister will do the usual put downs. I'm so close to punching her in the head. She is such a cow. I do have my niece who is out of it, but I feel they will brainwash her right back in. If you know much about Jehovah's Witness, oh yeah, they were around my town up in New Jersey. They were relentless. My sister's ex was a pedophile, and she took him back. Then the victim spoke out. My sister has now divorced, but met a new Jehovah's Witness, and he's coming to the funeral. I don't have a husband right now who can help me in my bereavement. All right. Well, first of all, pedophiles love to hide behind religion. You know, just look at the Catholic Church and the priest scandal and all that. And that's not. I know a lot of you are Christians, and not about your Christianity. It's about what goes on in the Catholic Church, and churches are known to hide pedophiles, even in their own clergy. But what you're talking about with your mom's funeral, and I know this is already passed because this is from a while back. This is back from July. You don't need to go to a funeral in order to mourn or have bereavement. Funeral ceremonies are just that. They're ceremonial. They're really not anything to them other than it's really for everybody else involved. It's not for the person. And now if you're coming from a family of Jehovah's Witness narcissists, what benefit are you getting out of going to that building for an hour or 2 hours to mourn and bereave? Do you really need to go there in order to grieve and have bereavement and mourning? Now, if there's a wake and there's an opening, and you want to say goodbye, that's one thing. But to sit there hour after hour for however long to go through this bereavement process, what's the point? What's the point? How are you going to properly mourn when you're waiting for the attack that's going to inevitably come? What's the point of it? Really, I think the point of it is so they can't say bad things about you, like, look, you didn't even show up to her own mother's funeral. And that's not the case. You make it clear, I don't need to go there and be around you demons, okay, in order to mourn the death of my mother or to mourn the death of my loved one. Okay, mourning and bereavement is in here. It's not about a building. It's not about a ceremony with some guy in a collar telling you how to bereave and how to mourn and how to feel. Okay, now if you come from a loving family and you're going there and celebrate this person's life, that's one thing. Okay, but that's not what's going to happen when you're dealing with a family of narcissists, especially Jehovah's Witness. And like you said, it's already about trying to suck you back into the cult. And so what's the point of even going? Really? Now, if you want to go and say goodbye to your mother and then make your peace and then leave, I would suggest that. But to subject yourself to that torture under the guise of mourning and bereavement is completely unnecessary, because you're going to mourn regardless. Whether you go to that funeral or not, you're going to go through mourning and you're going to have your bereavement period. Okay? The funeral doesn't give you mourning or bereavement. That all comes from within. So don't get sucked into this, this necessity this supposed necessity that you must go to this thing. No, because it's better for you if you don't go. And that goes for everybody who's in the same situation. If there is a family member who you are legitimately going to mourn about, but you're in this family of demons and vampires, why subject yourself during this time of mourning to that torture? Because it's unnecessary. You don't need to go to some building and have some guy tell you how to mourn and how to think. Okay? Your mourning process is for you. Okay? For me, funerals and wakes can be very selfish and narcissistic to begin with, because it's not about the person. It's about the people who are still living. That's what they make it about. So why put yourself through that? It's kind of unnecessary. So that's something to think about, going forward for any of you who are going to find yourselves in a similar situation. There's no reason to go. There really isn't. If you want to go, say goodbye to your loved one. Okay, I would suggest you go to the wake, say goodbye, say your piece to them, and then get out of there. And then go mourn with people who actually care about you. Okay, because there's no reason for you to subject yourself to that kind of torture, to maintain an image, to avoid being bad-mouthed, because you're going to be bad-mouthed whether you go or not. So what's really the point? So I hope that helps. Thank you all for watching. And again, if you enjoy this channel, please consider making a contribution to the GoFundMe link in the description box. And remember, if you do make a contribution and you want a video made, you go right to the top of the list and I'll make you a video next opportunity I get. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again soon.